Hello everybody, this is Imaduddin Aisha, back by popular demand. Actually, I haven't had anything to say for an awfully long time, but now I've got something to say. And it's not about Dune, though I will mention it just out of spitefulness. I just came back from the cinema, had lunch, a bit late, and what movie did I watch? Predator: Badlands. What a movie. What an experience, what a rush. That's what science fiction is, and I don't just mean action and gore and stuff. It's real SF. And luckily I didn't listen to the detractors. I had a feeling that they were wrong, or over-interpreting it to fit in with preconceived notions or complaints. I agree with a lot of their complaints about stuff in cinema now, Disney. But this movie is awesome. This is one of the best Predator movies in a long time. Dan Trachtenberg, same guy who did Prey, and he did a great job there. And Jesse Ventura loved it, and he was in the original Predator. And watching this, you could tell there were a lot of callbacks to the original Predator, not just to Prey. But okay, before I go into the detailed spoiler warnings, I'm going to ruin the movie for a lot of people here. You have, let me see the names of the characters. Let's see. Where? Yeah. You have the Yutani, or the Predator alien, Deck, and he's an outcast because he's not ruthless enough, and he's not strong enough and skilled enough in battle, but mostly because he's not ruthless. And his brother is trying to train him and make him as good as them, so he's accepted in the clan. But the father intervenes, and the brother gets helps his the brother, what's his name, Quai, yep, helps Deck escape, and Quai himself gets killed. And there's an interesting scene when he's crawling, one arm severed, and he's thinking about either going to the sword or going to the the control device on his I don't know what it's called, the wrist thing that the Predators wear. And Deck is telling him, go for the sword, but he hesitates, and you wonder why afterwards. You thought that he was going to go and put in the self-destruct device or something like that. No, you figure out why later on, but I won't tell you. And that shows you something good about the movie, that it's very well-rounded. The thing, full circle, with character arcs and plot arcs returning to little hints and clues early in the movie. Something else I noticed from that opening, not the opening sequence, the one straight after it, where Deck's brother gets killed, Quai, is the way that the father is dressed. He has these horns or antlers, kind of helmet on, and straight away I thought to myself, Vikings, Nordic myth. And wouldn't you know it, in the story, Deck is sent to this planet, sort of death trap planet, the Badlands, and his brother told him not to go there, said nobody comes back from there, the whole place is a danger, and he wants to go after a particular monster there that nobody has been able to defeat, even his father. And the monster has a child there. You discover later on that it's his child. And while I was watching the movie, I felt that this was Nordic myth. I felt that this was Grendel, Beowulf, and Grendel's mother, critically, which was much bigger and nastier than Grendel, as nasty as Grendel was. And so this is a much more intelligent movie than it looks. It's not just a really cool action movie, really good special effects movie, really good science fiction movie. It's a well-structured, well-thought-out movie with deep themes. Some of them are very obvious. Some are subtle and hidden, quite concealed very nicely. Deck, when he gets to the planet, dumped on the planet, the person who helps him is Thea L. Fanning, who's a synthetic, artificial person, robot, weyland-yutani, of course. And what was I going to say? Yeah, she's you probably already know from YouTube. She's split in half, again trying to capture that exact same monster. I forgot what it's called. And she needs his help, and he helps her, even though he insists on hunting by himself as a predator. He sees her as a tool because she's a robot, so it doesn't count as them hunting together. And she talks and talks all the time, and she's a scientist, the eggheady type, and she's there for comic relief. But Elle Fanning is just a wonderful actress. Her and of course her sister Dakota Fanning, and she's I'm gonna say just bright, perky face, without being overdone, without making you annoyed at her. She's comic relief, but she's a person with a lot of depth too. Otherwise, she'd come off as annoying. She does it perfectly, balanced perfect. And she has a relationship with a duplicate android, looks like her, same personality type. I think it was Thea, or she's Thea, and the other one is, oh, well, I've forgotten. Sorry, I'm just so excited, it's adrenaline rush, I can't remember all the names. And they both got trashed by that monster, but the company finds her twin and rebuilds her, and her twin saved her life. That's why she was split in half, but she didn't die. And you straight away notice the parallelism between Dec and his brother, and her, Thea, and her sister. Her sister has an eye that's sort of malfunctioned, or it's like a cataract, and that helps you recognize the two of them apart. And wouldn't you know it, Dec, he has not a missing fang, but a broken fang from one of his big teeth, incisor teeth, mandible teeth, when he was saving his brother, also saving his life. And that's why his brother spared him and tried to defend him, and tried to toughen him up and make a man out of him without killing him. So and she's so Thea is the comic relief exposition, but she's also which is like Dr. Watson to Sherlock Holmes, but she's also the conscience of the story. And again, they couldn't have got a better actress than Elle Fanning. When she meets her sister after her sister has been rebuilt, and she tells her, we don't have to just be synth robots. They give us emotions just to study the animals here, and exploit them. But we can be more than that. We can be sisters. But her sister rebuffs her, and you can see the disappointment and pain in her face. It's just so subtle, and the contrast of the two, even though it's the same actress, you feel that they're different people, and you feel that they look different. The sister is very cold. Her demeanor, her body language, she's slightly stooped over, kind of snobbish intellectual way. Very cold clothing, white, very cold hair color, pale blonde, almost white, and her skin is very pale. By contrast, Elle Fanning, her blondness is a bit more natural. She's wearing darker color clothes, slightly darker color, and her face again is just so human, the flush of her cheeks and the tip of her nose. And again, acting is so subtle and nuanced. It's wonderful. And she brings out the warm side of Dec, and she tells him about the alpha wolf in a wolf pack. He's not the most dominant predator. He's not the most effective killer, but he's the one who protects the rest of his flock, so to speak. And he learns to be like that, to stop being the lone wolf, ironically. And there's a lot of Mother motifs in it. You have Mother, the robot, the supercomputer again, giving the mission to Elle Fanning's character. And Elle Fanning, the evil twin, so to speak, is all the other synths look like each other, and they're the ones who do the dirty work and the action. She's the intellectual. And they're literally like a bunch of ants, and she sends them off to their slaughter. She doesn't put herself in danger in the big final battle at the end. And there's more. There's a balancing of male and female going on in this movie. And again, a lot of the detractors got it wrong. They got it completely wrong. Elle Fanning, and Thea, the good robot, she has the feminine side, and she's the feminine side in the story, and she tells Dec to work with the planet. The planet is full of all these amazing organisms. They're all deadly. Plants and animals, no different. And it's actually a lot like the planet you see at the beginning, the Yutani Prime desert, with also animals killing animals, the bigger killing the smaller. and then the predators the same way. So I mean, the thematics, they are very clear, but done in a fun way and in a very imaginative way with the creatures. And she's the feminine balancing with the masculine. He always tells her, you give up too quickly when they're hunting an animal. And his perseverance does actually win out. But he also learns from her to use his head, not just to use his strength and his agility. So they produce a wonderful male-female balancing act. And wouldn't you know it, at the end, and also the alien monster that they want to capture, or he wants to kill as a trophy, is a female, and you have its small offspring, who's a very monkey-like creature and very loyal like a dog, and looks up to Deck and imitates him once they become friends, and they help each other out. And you can tell that the creature, the small creature, Bud they call him, he's been left to fend for himself. I mean, like cats, when their kittens reach a certain age, they leave them to fend for themselves, and it's the female that does that specifically, and you never see the male. The male just, cats don't have families as such, except for things like lions, but house cats and the cats you see in the city. So they're probably modeling on that. And the creature is very bug-eyed and monkey-like, with some reptilian features, but there's also a cat-like quality, and you see it more clearly with the big one, the mother. And I think there's throwbacks there to, I can't remember the name of the movie, but there was a dinosaur movie where a hunter guy who finds extinct or supposedly extinct animals is sent somewhere into the forest in Africa to see if they're dinosaurs, and his son finds a baby dinosaur, and the baby dinosaur sort of coughs on him, and that's to mark him out. So when the big mother dinosaur finds him, she doesn't kill him. That happens here too. The big creature hesitates with Deck when it could kill him, and I was wondering why. I thought that was a plot hole or something. No, it's to do with the scent. And Deck reciprocates later on for the smaller creature, Bud. So it's again, on the surface level, it's very obvious with themes, nice themes, good moral themes, a balance of good and evil, and balance of male and female, and cooperation and competition, and the whole thing about teamwork and sacrificing for the group. And she reminds him that his brother sacrificed for him so he could live, not so he could get himself killed, even if it's with honor, going after the big alien. And there's the twin of Thea. She's like the evil twin, but she's also like the Ice Queen in the fairy tale. I can't remember her name. It's again a Nordic myth. You have one who's the the queen or princess of the winter, and her sister who's the princess of spring or summer, and they both annoy each other. And I can't remember the name of the story, but I saw it when I was a kid. TV. The hero, when he's in this world and he's trying to solve a puzzle, and he can't because the pieces are frozen together. It's only when he becomes warm when his sweetheart comes to him, and I think I think a piece of ice that got caught in his eye was going to his heart melted, and then he could solve the puzzle because the puzzle pieces melted and he could move them. I think that's what's happening here. And it's a Disney production, so it wouldn't be a stretch of the imagination to see the Disney people put that in. But they did it very nicely. It fit with the dynamics of the story. Another great thing about, of course, the special effects is great. The creature effects and creature design are great. A mixture of practical and CGI. They've fleshed out the Yutani culture very nicely with all sorts of new toys, new weapons, cultural rituals, family life, and these kind of things, clans, and their desert planet. Just give me a second. I'm running out of electricity. Sorry about that. The other great thing is pacing. They ramp up the volume from the word go, so you never get bored. When the movie is about like 2 hours and three. Movie started at 1. I got out at 2:45. There was commercials, but something like 2 hours, 2 hours and a half. The theater was almost empty. It was me and 2 other people. boy and a girl, I assume fiancés, and they left halfway or a third of the way through. I think the girl freaked out at the gore and the stuff. They didn't know what they were getting into, but I enjoyed every minute of it. And you don't feel the time. There's places where it slows down for you to take your breath, and some exposition and morality debates, but its pacing is great. You don't feel the time, and you almost want more. Another incredible thing is the humor. Elle Fanning is the center of this, also that smaller creature, Bud. But everything has elements of humor without it becoming silly, without you laughing at it. You find, Deck is looking at this grub, something like a caterpillar or a slug, and then it expands bits and pieces of it and goes red. He throws it away and it explodes. It's like a grenade. And he uses all these lethal animals and plants to fight against the bad guys and defeat them all in one go. And you could tell that there was a throwback there to the original Predator, when Arnold is he takes his grenades, the gunpowder, and puts them in leaves to use them, and he makes a bow and arrow, and all. That's what he's doing. So it's a throwback, but it also fits in with the themes of it, working with nature instead of against it. And of course the company, it's against nature. They flatten areas and have huge machinery that can defeat these incredible animals and plants, and they're taking samples, and they torture Deck when they find him. And also the humor for Elle Fanning. She tries to scan her eye to unlock something, but there's dust on it, so she wipes her eye with her finger. It's great, yeah. And her body is detached, but she can send commands to her legs. Her legs walking all over the place by themselves, like you see in a ghost movie or in a magic trick. It's hilarious, and there's lots of serious stuff going on, but you need that humor to break the tension, to let off steam. So this is a great movie. I hope I haven't spoiled it too much for you, but you really need to watch it for yourselves. Okay. Oh yeah, the last thing, Dune again. The first scene on Yutani Prime, it's a desert planet, and at first I thought I was watching Dune, but Dune as it should have been, Dune Part 1 as it should have been, with really cool desert that's still, I would say full of life, but you feel that there are people living there, and you can tell about the creatures and all that. And yeah. And incredible landscapes in this movie on Yutani Prime, and on the other planet, which is I think called Genna, which sounds a bit like Jannah in Arabic. It could be like the Garden of Eden or Paradise Lost. That might be a reference. You never know. Or there's Jannah and Jahannam, which is hell, same kind of thing. I don't know, but I suspect there's a lot more even than what I know, what I can tell from the movie in terms of the symbolism and the names and everything. Yeah, okay, all right. Yeah, but this guy should have directed Dune Part 1, or Ridley Scott, of course. He should have done the original Dune. Though I still think David Lynch did a great job. Okay, that's enough, and I hope the sound was working, and see you. I'll try and post this shortly. And stop.